Salute. How y'all doing? My name is DerrickWilliams. The sugar sister don't like apple cider vinegar, but I do. Apple cider vinegar has over a 2,300 year history of health and wellness. This was well documented and well known, and I have tried for 2 years now to try to educate my peoples, the sugar sister, on the health benefits of that tonic. It's very sad, but she don't know no better. Still love her to death. The title of this presentation will be called Storming the Capitol, a Thing of Beauty. And I'm just one man in the comment section on YouTube. Anyone who has done a cursory view or a cursory glance of history will tell you that most empires don't last very long, maybe 200-300 years maximum. America, I believe, is about 244 years old. So we're on our last leg to start with. With our political process, for all intents and purposes, it's broken. You only have two parties. No third parties can even get into the debate, much less be on ballots for the citizenry to even have a thought otherwise. So it's either Democrat or Republican. And with black people, by and large, we vote Democrat down ballot. I would never understand that to save me. I would never understand that for the life of me. But that's what we do. And so for this reason, the Democratic Party looks upon black people as essentially a football. We got y'all. We got y'all in our hip pocket, and you never get anything for your vote. On the flip side, black people feel that the Republicans are going to take stuff, like social programs like welfare, housing, and things like that. So for me, they got you coming and they got you going. So in my estimation, black people are essentially defamed. We have no power in this country, and that's evident by the political figures that we vote for, thinking that they're going to change stuff for black people. Laughable. They are white people in black skin, in my view. And so, aside from Cynthia McKinney, of course, love her to death. Now, she's a real politician, but she's not running, and that's a shame. And I'm saying that for this reason. You've heard almost immediately since white people have been, or Trump supporters, have been stormed the Capitol. Black people, I've heard it on the radio. I've seen other people who are black that are on YouTube right now, as I tape this, saying, well, if black people were trying to storm the Capitol, they would be shot. And they would be right. White people have the proper complexion for the protection. As comedian Paul Mooney said, white people have the right complexion for the protection. And so this is where we are in our country. And feel free to disabuse me of that notion. You have black people that are shot by the occasional police every so often, and we tear up, but still no one seems to want to address the just carnage inflicted on black people by black people every single weekend. So the white man got us coming and going, and black people got us coming and going. And I'm just trying to, as they say, make it make sense. But I just want to speak briefly about the white people storming the Capitol. In my opinion, based off what I've been looking into, and I will say, for full disclosure, I do not watch CNN. I do not watch any mainstream news. But some would argue that the news that I take in would be conspiratorial. Well, if you haven't looked into it, you really can't say that. But people will say these things nonetheless. But I know for a fact that the mainstream media is definitely conspiratorial. Again, I always refer back to Operation Project Mockingbird, where the CIA has agents in mainstream media, and also the Smith-Mundt Act, where under that act the American government can propagandize against its own people. So I know for a fact the mainstream media is definitely in an open conspiracy to make us deaf, dumb, and blind. I know that for a fact, and if you don't, shame on you. But at any rate, based off the information or the news that I've been getting, without question, there was voter tampering and voter fraud. And I would just use the one smoking gun for me. There are hundreds of others, literally hundreds of other examples. But the one smoking gun is by a black person. Her name is Ruby Freeman. They have her on video. This ain't conspiracy theory. The woman actually took boxes from underneath a desk, and there were ballots in it. There were ballots in this suitcase, and she started scanning them. And guess who she scanned them for? It wasn't for Donald Trump, so you know the other person. It was Joe Biden. All right, I do not like Joe Biden. For one, he hasn't done anything in the 50 years he's been in office for black people, so can't run with him. Kamala Harris, she seems like she just loves incarcerating black men. Can't bang with her. You can say whatever you want about Donald Trump, but the fact is, a lot of folks just actually like this dude because he was a shrewd businessman. Now, whether he's the quintessential politician, I would say no. But you replacing one old white guy for another old white guy, and as black people, what are we actually getting aside from saying you got Trump out of there? Because you had 8 years with a black man and you virtually got nothing. So this video is more or less aimed at black people. But white people got something to say about it too, and they can do what we can't. And that's evident by the fact that they are storming the Capitol because they don't believe the election results. And I'm with them. I'm pro-military, and I do love my country, and this is for black people, for all the Black Lives Matter and all the rah 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 rah. You can't say that in Venezuela. You can't say that in North Korea. This is the only place where you can talk that hot shit. Ain't nobody going nowhere. This is your home. You feel me? All right? But your home is going down in flames. This is just a fact. But at any rate, I just wanted to say that what we have is a failed system. We have one party with two wings, and those two wings you really don't have a choice. It's the illusion of choice. And so because the choice was rigged this time around, this is why for real this time, not like in 2016 where you had no evidence really, but this one definitely can be proven without a shadow of a doubt. But I just want to say really quick, I'm pro-service and I love my country. And I also love the ideals held by the Constitution, although that Constitution may not necessarily, it did not speak to black people. But over here in this country, you do have the freedom of expression to at least get on YouTube and espouse your view. You can't kick that over in North Korea. And I would say those who want to see the country burn, simply leave. You can always head over to Venezuela. You can always head to Soviet Russia or the former Soviet Russia, or you can go to North Korea or China. You can always do that. But this is the only game in town right here. And I think you're going to see even more stuff in the coming days. And if Biden is installed, not elected, but installed as president of this country, black people first and foremost, we're going to see some stuff. And it ain't going to be in a good way, but we're going to see some stuff. As an example, one of Biden's coronavirus advisors has already said no vaccine jab, no welfare, no housing benefits. And we know that a disproportionate amount of our people are on the system for our numbers. More white people, when you look at the country, they do have welfare more. But for our people, it's going to hurt us majorly. It's going to hurt the white man, but it's going to hurt us 2 times as much. What do they say? When the white man gets a cold, we get pneumonia. And so just for myself, I think it's a thing of beauty, because history shows that when a country is on its way out, the citizens typically turn on themselves. They turn on their government. So you just seeing history just repeating itself, only this time it's just the United States of America. I want you all to remember back when the former USSR collapsed and CNN carried some of that live. All you saw was I guess that was the Kremlin, and that's all you saw, but it collapsed. Well, it's our turn now. That's all. You're just living through it. All right? And so to me, I love stuff like that. It almost reminds me of scenes of a conquest of the planet of the apes, when the apes took over and the white man fell and they started tearing up and all this other stuff. I just love stuff like this. So for all of you all who are just shocked and mortified that this could happen in America, you have not been paying attention to history. History is a very beautiful subject. All y'all take care. Greenville, Mississippi till I die.